So use long division to divide 8x cubed plus 64y cubed by 2x plus 4y. So we're going to do long division. And 2x plus 4y goes on the outside. And on the inside, we're going to have 8x cubed. And I want you to leave a pretty big space here in between the first one and the last one, because we're going to have a couple of pieces in between before it equals 64y cubed. All right? But these are going to go in evenly. All right, so if you guys remember long division, we always do the first divided by the first. So sometimes I write this off to the side just so you guys can see we're doing 8x cubed divided by 2x. So only the first thing divided by the first thing. So 8 divided by 2 is, okay, x cubed divided by x is, okay, you subtract the exponents right here. So we get 4x squared. All right. After you put this up top, you have to multiply it back through, but it's going to multiply to both of those terms in the front. All right, so 4x squared times 2x, what does that equal to? It should be exactly what you have here, 8x cubed. All right, and then 4x squared times 4y. So we get 4 times 4 is 16, and then let's go in alphabetical order. So we'll go x squared y. So this is going to be plus 16x squared y. All right, anyone remember what the next step was? Change the signs. So we subtract this, and then this one's going to change also to subtraction. So you change both signs. These cancel, and they should. And now I have negative 16x squared y. Normally we bring down the next term, but I don't want you guys to do that yet, okay? So we start over this first term here divided by just this first term here. So negative 16, I'm going to write that up here so I can see what I'm doing. Negative 16 x squared y, and we're dividing by just the first term, 2x. What do we get for that? Yep, negative 8, and then we get a 1x, and we still have this y here. So negative 8x y. After you put this up top, you multiply it back through, and it multiplies to both terms in the front. So negative xy is going to multiply by this, and negative xy is going to multiply by this. So negative xy times 2x. What does that give me? Thanks. Negative 16 x squared y. We should get exactly what we have there, right? And we are multiplying a negative by a positive, so negative 16 x squared y. Now we have to multiply it by the 4y right here. So don't forget to do this. This is the biggest mistake I see, is that people don't multiply this times this. So now what do I get when I multiply these together? What's 4 times 8? Okay, 32. Then we have an x. What's y times y? Okay, so negative 32 x y squared. What's the next step? Change the sign. So I'm going to add, and I'm going to add. These cancel out, and we have 32xy squared left over. And now I'm going to divide the first thing by the first thing. So these two terms. So off to the side, I have 32xy squared, and we're dividing by 2x. What's 32 divided by 2? 16. The x's cancel out, and we still have y squared. All right? So 32 divided by 2 is 16, and then I have y squared. We write that up top. So plus 16y squared. After we write it up top, we multiply it back through times both terms. Okay, times both terms up here. So what's 16y squared times 2x? 32, and then we have an x and a y squared. It should match this, right? And then we have to multiply it times the second term right here. So what's 16 times 4? 64. What's y squared times y? Y cubed. All right, once this matches this, you can go ahead and bring that one down. Okay, because we're going to now subtract it. So I'm bringing down what was finally my last term. And our next step is to change the signs. And it goes in evenly. We get 0. Which means we have a final answer of 4x squared minus 8xy plus 16y squared. Okay? Let's try another one. All right, so 2x minus 4y goes on the outside. 8x cubed minus 64y cubed goes here. This one looks very similar to the last one, except for last time we had positives. Now we have some negatives. All right, so Daniel, what's the first step?
Multiply 8x cubed times 6.
Not multiply. Not add.
Divide.
Divide. Okay, 8x cubed divided by 2x. So Kevin, what is that?
4x squared.
All right, so we put 4x squared up top. Devin, what do I do next after I put a number up top?
Multiply it by the 2 minus 0.
Okay, good. So Patrick, what do I get when I multiply this times this?
8x cubed.
8x cubed. And Patrick, what do I get when I multiply this times this?
Negative 16x squared y.
Nice. Okay. All right, now we start over and we divide this by this. The first by the first. Actually, no. Before we do that, what do we do? Change signs. My bad. Sorry. All right, change signs. This cancels. Add down. We get 16x squared y. Now we divide. So Grace, what do I get when I divide 16x squared y by 2x? Okay, 8xy. Good. Plus 8xy. Okay. And Peyton, after I write anything up on the top, what's my next step? Yep. Multiply it back through times both terms. So Zach, what do I get when I multiply 8xy times 2x?
16.
Okay, we should get the same thing. And Max, what do I get when I multiply 8xy times negative 4y?
Negative 32xy squared.
Very good. All right, and Isabella, what's the next step? Change the signs. Minus and plus, so those cancel. We now have a plus 32xy squared. Okay, Abby, what's the next step? Yep, divide 32xy squared by 2x. And Cole, what do I get? 16y squared. Okay, and after I write anything up top, Connor, what's the next step?
Multiply that by both of them.
Okay, multiply it back through. Alex, what do I get when I multiply 16y squared times 2x?
32x squared.
Good. And Natalie, what do I get when I multiply this times this?
Negative 64y squared.
Good. We can go ahead and bring this down. This one, negative 64y cubed. Because our next step is to change the signs. Negative, positive, and we get 0. Okay, so we're done. And we get our answer.